Is it your turn?
I left BYU when my husband went to dental school, and I was in my junior year at BYU and didn't end up finishing. I'd always thought that I would go back to school. I knew I had been thinking about it for a while, but it was kind of one of those goals that was set way off in the distance. I had said that once my children were all in school full-time, I would go back to school. And I was at Education Week and I went into a classroom. I was inspired by Sister Marilee Boyak's talk. I believe the name of her class that day was, "I'm so busy I don't have time for that, taking control." And I was like, wow, that sounds like my life, you know. I am too busy for this. I have 4 little kids and I can't do it. But then throughout her talk, she described how Satan can get a hold of us and make us too busy to actually achieve the goals we set. That really hit me because I thought, that is true. I've always been a goal setter, but sometimes I find at the end of the year, I'm like, what happened? I didn't achieve that, and I've just kept myself too busy. You have to be willing to take a risk and go out on the limb. And I think for years, I had said I was going to go back to school and finish my degree that I'd started at BYU, but it was scary to think, do I have what it takes to go back to school, and all these people will be young and I'll be old, and I've got all these other responsibilities as a mom and a wife. But I thought, yeah, I do have to just take a risk. And she said, I promise you that the Spirit will speak to you today and tell you something that you need to do. And the Spirit really did say, now's the time, you need to do it. So when I left that room, I walked out into the Wilkinson Center, and there was a little table that the Bachelor of General Studies program had set up. And I had heard of that program, but I wasn't very familiar with it. But their tagline was, finish what you started at BYU. And I thought, well, that's pretty much describes what I need to get doing. So I went over there, and some friendly person handed me a booklet and said, oh, and talked to me for a few minutes. It was very intimidating, and I remember taking it home and almost being afraid to say out loud to my husband, okay, I think I might ready to do this, because I knew if I said it out loud to someone that I might have to follow through. And actually that was probably the best thing I did, because he really encouraged me to just get started. I actually have a few friends that have wanted to go back to school, and we've talked about it, and it is an elephant to eat in the beginning. You know, the strategy is just bite by bite. And for me, it was filling out kind of my map and figuring out what classes need to come first, kind of organizing it. And then just looking at that one class and figuring out how you can fit it into your schedule, whether it's through independent study or going on campus, figuring out how your family situation is going to be during those times, and then just keeping up with your assignments. It feels so good to have it done.
Finish at home what you started at BYU. Bachelor of General Studies. Is it your turn?